Good morning, YouTubers and my 17 subscribers. I'm really thankful for the 17 subscribers that I have, and it's a good journey, starting from just about 5 subscribers. Now I'm up to 17. Not a big jump, but to me it's quite big, and it's an achievement. Thank you for your support, and I'll continue to make more videos. And today is quite a cloudy day, I would say. It looks cloudy, and the wind is really cool. Not always I get to feel such a cold wind, but it seems like it's gonna rain again soon. Yesterday it drizzled a bit. Today I have something to talk about, something unfortunate that happened a few days ago, which is the accident that happened between Tampines Avenue 2 and Tampines Street 32. What happened was the 24-year-old rider on a Yamaha R1 crashed into a car just as the car was about to turn right at a cross junction, and the rider was sent to a hospital immediately. It's raining. Oh man. Sorry, give me a while. It's not always all fun and games when you are being a rider. See all these cars? They don't have to worry about such things. Oh my god, come on. Fast game. Close. Oh my god. See? Told you already. Once you talk about it, it happens already, straight away. Instant karma. See? This is always what we have to prepare for. Oh, it's quite a heavy rain. Okay, coming back to the topic of the rider and car accident. It happened between Tampines Avenue 2 and Tampines Street 32. And it's really unfortunate because the rider was sent to the hospital immediately after the accident, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Before I start the video, I would like to say that anything that I share today is purely based on my opinion. I'm not an official traffic police officer, not a lawyer or anything like that. I'm just based on experience. And if any of the family members or relatives of the deceased rider is watching this video, I would like to convey my sincere condolences to you and your family for this unfortunate event. Coming on to this topic, I'm not going to say who is right and who is wrong in this video, because I will leave it up to the traffic police officers and investigating officers to do that as part of their job. And I think that there is always two sides to a coin when it comes to such events. One is from the rider's perspective, the other is from the driver's perspective. Even before we start on with the rider's perspective, I would say in general, when it comes to a cross junction, I believe it's always safer to drive or ride over a cross junction at a lower speed. and to always close your throttle. Do not open your throttle just because you want to try to pass that green light from a distance. Oh, excuse me. And there's a question always from non-riders or beginner riders as to how do you know when the traffic light will turn amber, and what's a good judgment distance to close your throttle and to stop or to rush over the amber light. First off, I would say that when you reach a cross junction, firstly you will notice that there is a walking green man. Because our side is green, the pedestrian green man is also on. If the pedestrian green man is still on, I would say you are considered safe to ride past the cross junction. But if the pedestrian green man is red, that means pedestrians have stopped crossing. This is a very good indicator that the traffic light is about to turn red on you as well. I mean amber first, then red. So this is one of the good indicators. And second indicator for the distance, if you notice before you reach any traffic light, or most of the traffic light, you will notice that there are 3 arrows on the road before you hit one. So the first arrow, usually what we do is we will close the throttle. So when you hit the second arrow, your hands will be prepared on the brakes, front and rear brakes, just in case you need to stop, or if there's any cars that just come out of the way and block you, or suddenly something like that. And once you hit the third arrow, this is where you decide whether you are capable, you and your bike is capable of passing the amber light. If your judgment calls say that you are able to cross the amber light and there is no obstruction in front of you, then you are safe to pass the amber light because you cannot stop in time. But if you can stop in time, I will always suggest you stop, because you never know when you are noticing the traffic light, you tend to lose focus of your surroundings just for that split second, and things can happen within that split second. So this is my take in general for crossing a cross junction. I would always say same thing. When we cross the cross junction, always slow down. Don't try to rush. If you see that green light is in front of you for a very long period of time, you have to slow down already, because it is about time the traffic light turns red. If you try to rush for it, your reaction time and your judgment may cause bad things to happen. So I always slow down. And if you're on a faster speed, definitely your reaction time will be much lesser. I will show you in the illustration later. And yes, that's about it. But I will show you this illustration that I've made. It's much better to understand and explain through the illustration based on the accident that happened. And you can take a look right here.
So this is the illustration that is made up by me to reenact what had happened. I want you to notice the red car and the black car and also the traffic lights. The red car is the one with the dash cam, and the black car is the subject vehicle that got into the accident. So the car in front of the subject vehicle realized that the road is clear, therefore he made his right turn past the traffic lights. As you can see, the yellow colored triangle sort of thing is the field of vision of the subject vehicle, and as you can see, his vision is being blocked by the car in blue in this illustration. And this is what usually happens when vehicles are making a right turn at a cross junction. And what we do is that we inch out just to take a peek whether if the road is clear. If the road is clear, we'll make the entry. the passing entry, but if not, then we will have to wait for the green arrow to appear before we make the turn. So coming along, this is the rider on the left, and I believe in the video he noticed that the traffic light had turned amber. You can see the green color triangle is his field of vision, and at that point he probably could have noticed the traffic light, and what happened was that he decided to make a dash for it. This is what usually happens as a driver myself. When we make a right turn, we check that the road is clear. So if we think that the road is clear, we will inch out, we will start to drive towards the right, and then our field of vision will usually be more focused on the traffic junction. As you can see in this illustration, the yellow field of vision, because we would like to ensure that there is no last minute pedestrians or PMDs suddenly making a dash across. At least we still have time to at least do an e-brake or something like that before we get into a crash. So from here, usually the subject car will not notice that the bike is coming towards him at high speed. And the bike at this period of time could have probably noticed that the car is inching out. So at this period of time, the car has already noticed that the rider is coming to him at a fast speed. He tries to avoid the car, but he crashes straight because of the lack of reaction time, the lack of distance, whatever the factor is. At that period of time, probably there's not much that can be done. And now coming on to the rider's perspective, let's say for example he's traveling at about 100 kilometers per hour. As you can see in this distance, he can travel that much, which is quite far. And for the driver's field of vision, at that point probably he could not even see the rider as he's coming towards the traffic light. There's so many factors that could affect his vision. Probably because it happened at night, the visibility is low. The car that's blocking him, probably the driver could be under the influence of alcohol, or if not, he had not had enough rest the day before because he's working OT. All sorts of factors. These are stuff that we will not think about. It's something that we should always be mindful when we are on the road, because we cannot assume what is going to happen. Coming to the reaction time of this, because the rider is riding at fast speed, probably his reaction time would be much lesser. And as you can see, when the car inches out, his reaction time is only that much. As compared, let's say he's traveling at about 60 kilometers per hour this time, 40 kilometers less. The driver could not see him, but as he approaches the traffic light, the car inches out, he has that much more reaction time for him to avoid this accident. He could have jammed his brake, or he could have just skid and fall, locking his wheels, which is much more better than crashing straight on with the car. And I would also like to bring your attention to the traffic lights. As you can see, at this point of time, the traffic lights could have turned amber. If he were to jam his brakes here, he would make an awkward stop, probably even past the traffic lights. But I think this is something that you could overlook, because I would rather jam my brakes and pass the traffic lights into an awkward position rather than crashing straight on with the subject vehicle. Now, coming on to the driver's perspective. When he's making that right turn, if he's not confident enough to make that turn, or if he cannot see what is ahead in front of him at the opposite direction, he's supposed to wait until the traffic lights turns red and the green arrow appears before making that turn. For this case, what he did was, I think he probably thought that the road was clear, therefore he made his advance and realized that it was a mistake. But just to put it out there, if you really think that it's not safe, we don't assume on the road. We will just wait until the green arrow appear before we make that turn. Never mind the cars behind, like you can see in this one, the white car that's behind. Don't be pressured by them, because you are the one to make the judgment, and you are the one in front. So whether to turn or not is entirely up to you. This is the safest of all the options that you can take.
Okay, I'm about to approach a traffic light, and you can see the arrows on the road as I explained earlier. Usually for a traffic light you'll see 3 arrows ahead. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So as I explained, the third arrow, when you reach, you close your throttle. The second arrow, tend to be prepared to slam on the brakes if anything were to happen, if the lights turn amber or if a car decides to swerve in front of you. And the last arrow is your judgment, where you see if you are capable of or if you really need to rush the amber light. If not, then just come to a stop real quick. You don't have to rush. I would say even if you are late for something, your life is much more important than that. And yeah, that's about it for the explanation on the incident that happened. I hope the illustrations was of good use, and we can take it as a reference point in future, so that new riders can take away something from this event. Okay, I'm about to end my video. Please always be very careful on the road. Things like this tend to discourage riders from riding, and parents are also very worried when such things happen. My friends initially told me about this incident as well. Family, friends talking about this, saying that, oh, there's a 24-year-old rider got into this unfortunate event, and told me to be careful, and drivers on the road are very reckless, or riders are never not careful with this kind of such stuff. But it all boils down to us individuals, to be safe on the road, and it's our responsibility as well. So I would like to extend my sincere condolences to the family and relatives of this rider, and let's hope the road is a safer place after watching this video. And stay safe, everyone. Oh, another important point that I forgot to raise is always wear appropriately, dress appropriately for riding. If you are wearing shorts, singlet, such gears are, when you fall, the fatality rate tends to be higher, because your skin and everything is exposed to the raw conditions on the road. So that's another point to take. Always wear gloves, wear appropriate jacket if you need to. Usually I just wear a polo tee and long pants and shoes. That's the bare minimum, and gloves as well. That's the bare minimum that I have to wear before I ride. Last time I used to wear a half face, but now I wear a full face. Well, partly because I wanted to do this vlogging thing. It's much easier for me. But the main reason is also for safety. So I will be ending off my video, and goodbye everyone. Stay safe. Take care.